Yellow. Yellow is a color. Oh, what a day. Ah, stretchy. Ow. Painful stretchy. Okay, what am I doing today? A good looking question. Today is going to be a lazy day. I don't feel like doing anything crazy complicated. Last couple of streams have been a little more on the, for me, technical side. And I want something stupid and simple that my brain can handle. So we're going to do abstract on mineral paper today, and that's pretty much all I'm going to do. Might make it a short stream, I don't know. I will try to do some stuff leading into it, because the one thing about the mineral paper stuff is I can't do anything to speed up the drying process. I've tried. It makes the paper curl and just utterly destroys it. There's no recovering it. So it's going to have to dry naturally. And this kind of thing takes a long time to dry. So it's going to have to be the last thing I do. And it's going to have to sit here in place, untouched when I end stream, and dry for hours. So I'll try to make it the very last thing that I do. That being said, the LCARS thing. So and what I mean by that is I have plans to update my stream scenes to have some Star Trek user interface kind of theme. I'm working on it. Monday, that's what the day was when I streamed last. Monday, I was working on trying to paint some of that manually, like traditionally, and it just wasn't having a lot of luck getting out what I wanted. And really, it's just a waste of my indigo paint to constantly try to get the perfect, like, darkened background that I wanted. And it wasn't coming out the way I wanted. So I'm going to try to do that part of it digitally. What do I mean by that? I don't have it open where I can show it right now. I suppose I can open it really quick. Let me open it and move it to this window so I can share it. You click, you go there, you do that. What window is it going to open in? That one. Okay, that's fine. Let me do it over here. Yep, that's fine. Let me move it over here. Okay, and let me open that back up and share the screen. Not that one. That one. There we go. So this is a tool. I don't know fully if I'm going to pronounce it right, but I think it's called Rebel, whatever. It's a digital art tool for painting and whatnot. But one of the things that's really cool that it can do is watercolor, at least to some degree. So I was playing around with it, and I found that I can pretty much get the kind of colors I want for that LCARS background better using this, and it's already digital. So I don't have to fight with making it and stressing and getting the right colors and then drawing it and then making sure it looks good and is dark enough or light enough. And then trying to convert it to digital after that was going to prove to be a nightmare and not look good. So I figured, let me use a tool that's meant for it, and I can try to just make it in that, right? So I played around with it. It's pretty cool. You choose the size of the brush, or rather the type of brush that you want, right? From these little swatches over here. And then you choose the size you want the brush to be. It can be big, it can be small. You can choose how transparent you want the color to be and how much water is going to be in the brush. So you can go through and pick a color from over here, like this light blue color, and just go wacky, and then pick another color like this red and paint over it, around it, whatever you want with it, right? And then you can tilt the paper by doing this kind of number, and you tilt it in a direction, and the paper will start to, the ink will start to slide down the page in that direction, and you can make it more extreme. You can change the directions completely. You can click in the center and it'll stop the flow. And then it'll just start spreading from there, from the middle out, right? Like it'll bloom a lot like watercolor will. They put a lot of smarts into this. You can increase the water for new things you paint on it. So I can pick like an orange here and I'll paint that. I can increase the opacity to make it a darker orange color. Right? I can let go of the mouse and I can click again and then again, and it'll make it even more vibrant. And then as soon as I tilt it to the right, you see how it all starts flowing to the right down the paper. So you can definitely do a lot of fun things and blending and whatnot with this tool. So while that does this thing and bleeds into it, I experimented with it. I have there we go. This as a kind of background, and this as the colors I'm going to try to cut out to be to like the user interface. So it won't be all this color, but it'll be pieces of it that are going to be kind of trimming out. I found this mask online, and I'm using elements from it to cut out and make my own mask for scenes. So my goal is to take the template that I found online, make my own template for each scene that I want, and then I'm going to use these to make a mask, like masking tape, but digitally, to cut out this pastel colored background here into pieces. So all of the things that you see on this that are white are going to be the pastel colors, and it'll be transparent otherwise. And then I'm going to paste all of that once it's made on top of this, so that it's got like that overall complete look. So that's just the extent of what I'm going to do with that. Clearly, this is not the end image or images that I'm necessarily going to use. I'm going to make more and pick the best out of the ones that I have. And then once I've got that done, I'll make sure I've got the masks set up the way I want to, leaving room for things to be pasted on top of them, like stream elements and things like that, images, any little knickknacks I want to fit into those spaces. And then I'll start introducing them into my stream later on. But again, that's still some time from now. I threw this together in the last hour, so I can get through some of it quickly, but the more fine detail I'm sure will take a lot longer. And I don't want to just throw it together and say that's it. I want to take time and really make it right. So I'll get back to that later. But yeah, you can see this thing finished blending, and it works a lot like watercolor does. It's as close as they can get. This is an older version of the program I found, but there's newer ones available that are probably more promising, but I'll worry about that in the future if I want to go really deep in this. But yeah, that's the extent of that. Once I get all that squared away and figured out, you'll see them start coming into the stream as I onboard them, and they'll replace a majority of what we see here. All of these elements will be there, but they'll probably be set inside of that Star Trek LCARS interface, just for looks. That's all. So we'll see how it comes out. Well, I'm done yakking about that. Let's try to actually make something today. So again, no guarantee it's going to be a very long stream. I'm most definitely just going to be playing on mineral paper for a while, and then we'll call it quits. So maybe, we'll see how long it takes. That being said, what size paper should I use? I've got the two options here. I've got a 9x12 and then a 11x14. So I can choose to make a smaller or like average sized one, or I can make a big boy. The big ones are always harder to move around, but still, they usually end up really pretty. Coffee. So, I don't know. Never really hurts to do the big one. And again, it's going to take a long time to dry. So, maybe I'll do a small one and start with that and then let it dry for a while we're on. And if that ends up being all I do, then that's all I'll do. Otherwise, if there's time after it dries, I'll start on a large one as well. And then let that sit and dry. So go ahead and grab one. always never wants to tear properly, so I'll try my best to get that to work. We get only one sheet. Come now. There we go. Okay, and that came off nice and clean today. That's rare. All right, you can go here. We can do vertical today. Let me set that over here. And then I guess we get to decide what colors are we going to do today. It never comes out quite right when I use too many. That makes sense. Too much is just that, too much. It never really comes out well. So maybe I'll go something with some red. Did I have violet color? I have blues. I don't think I've got a violet. No, I do not. I've got three different kinds of blue. No violet, but it will blend to make it. So I will, I may use the more, well, it's magenta. That's kind of violet. I'll go those two. And then I have, am I missing one? Yeah. Right? Yeah. What did I do? Hang on. How? Oh, there it is. I was like, I know I've got a... I was like, I know I had an indigo, but I was like, where was it? It was tucked over there behind the water. Okay, let me scoot those back so I don't make that mistake again. I'll do a little yellow as well. And maybe we'll just start with that and see how they blend. I'm guaranteed to make some kind of muddy color because I'm doing basically red, white, and blue. A red, blue, and yellow. Wow, my brain is just gone. So yeah, let me just do something random. I have no thoughts whatsoever on making anything that is anything. I'm going full on abstract today because I just don't care. Let me turn this down. I feel like it's so loud still. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so let me scoot that over there. Stay. Okay, and then get this over here. Hi, Desert. Welcome in. You haven't missed much. Today is going to be an easy day for me. I'm just not feeling doing anything really complicated because the last few streams have been like intense. And slightly emotional for me in a way. So I'm just not going to sit here and fight trying to do something good. I'm just going to play around and make something abstract that ends up good because abstract was always beautiful no matter what. All I really did is go over some of the LCAR stuff that I've been working on. My new user interface for my stream. I'm building a Star Trek their computer interface style set of scenes for myself. And I'm going through, and I was trying to do it on Monday and make some traditional media versions of the images, but it was going to be a pain to both make them, and it was. And it was going to be an even bigger pain to convert them digitally so that I could edit them on a computer. It wasn't going to work out right, and it was driving me up the wall. I just said, to hell with this, I'm going to do it digitally. So I just showed it a minute ago, but I'll pull it up on stream so you can see it again. I started using a program called Rebel. Let me show it. Here it is. And it lets you do watercoloring, among other things, inside the program. And you can adjust how much water, how much intensity, the size, and the type of brush that you want. And I showed it a minute ago. It was a different color. But let me pick something like really vibrant blue. And you can paint on here. Again, the settings for opacity, water on the size of the brush are over there. And you paint over the top of stuff, and you can tilt the page to make the water flow. And you can do a lot or a little. You can change the direction to make it flow different ways. You can click in the center to stop it and just let it just flow over everything on its own. And it's a super cool tool to be able to paint with. So I'm going to be experimenting with this to do my Star Trek LCAR's backgrounds that I need to do, like the dark background for representing the black glass that all of the stuff is based on, basically. And then I'm going to create a brighter colored one to be where the buttons in the interface are cut out using a mask. And it's going to rest on top of it. So I showed it a minute ago. I think I still have it. I know I closed it. It's not important. When the time gets closer to me actually doing it, I'll show what it looks like. But yeah, I'm going to try to use this tool to be able to create those images because it's already digital and it replicates watercolor enough for my needs to be able to do this. So, I mean, you can see just what little I did. It blends so nicely with other things that you paint. It's going to be a really fun tool to play with, Rebel. So I'm going to use that, see how it goes. And someday when I have something useful to share that looks good, that'll be my new scene to kind of go around, like the background that you see on screen right now with my camera and the little widgets from like Stream Elements and my little bear talking in the corner will all have a little spot resting inside of that interface like it's meant to be there is my goal. But we'll see. It'll take some time for me to make all that. But yeah, let me close that. But aside from that, today is just going to be fun, just abstract painting on mineral paper. Because mineral paper takes so long to dry naturally and I can't use any heat source on it because we saw that it destroys it, I am not going to do that. I'm going to let it sit. So I'm going to try to do one on a smaller sheet of 9x12 and try to be kind of gentle with how much water I use so it can dry a little quicker. And if I have time, I'll switch to a bigger sheet of paper. Otherwise, if it's got to dry for a long time, I'm probably just going to end stream early and let them dry for a couple hours because I can't move it. I can't dry it with tools. I'll just have to let it sit. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. For this, I'm feeling debris on here and I just took it off the pad, but I think it'll be fine. Let me just brush it clean. I was trying to pick out colors. So I had fun following your stream on floating landforms and cool. Oh yeah, I don't know if you saw me finish it last stream. Let me grab it. Come with me. Come with me. Okay. Here's how it came out. On Monday, when I started out, I went through and I added some shadows on the underside of the islands to try to give them some depth because I realized they were all the same color on the cutout land area, and it looked cartoony. And it's meant to be, but I want to have some realism. It needed some shadows, so I just added some to the bottom of them to make them look like they were like lit from the top down. That's all. But I like how it came out. Came out pretty good. Yeah. Okay. Let me put this up. I'll put it over here for now. I can look at it while I work. Okay, so I'm picking out some colors. I've got a lot of options here. I'm going completely 100% abstract, just very screwing around. I'm just literally going to put some ink on here and I'm going to add water and let it spread wherever it wants to. I have to pick some colors, so I think I'm going to go random a little bit. I know I should start with the darker colors first and then put the lighter colors on afterward and try to keep them separate, because if they touch, they blend too early and all the light color disappears. So I'm going to try to wait. I think I'll use the silver because that always looks really cool. Let me grab the acrylic white because that always looks nice too. The blues are really pretty. That red is an acrylic. I might use that instead because using a mix of acrylic and watercolor inks looks really cool. And I think I'll go this way and then maybe call that one. I was going to do indigo. I think I won't. I think I'll just let these guys do all the work. So let's start with shake it up really good. Okay. Girl, open. They always stick so hard. Open, you son of a gun. Oh, geez. I almost heard like a pressure release when I opened it. Woof. Okay. Let's, you know what? I think I'll do, like here. And then here. All right. Done with that. Let's go red. Just, yeah, they really stick. All right. Let's get some red all up in there. All right. Let's do our yellow. I'll try to be a little gentle with that because, again, it will blend very quickly if I put it actually touching any of this. I'll try to put it in the spots in the middle. All right. Let's get some silver so that it does some fun, weird mixtures. All right. And then last up, some white. Whoa. Dang. The bottle slipped right out of my hand. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, let's grab some of that. This is an acrylic white instead of the watercolor ink. All right. Let's get some water down. Watch it all spread out. Okay. Let's get a wash brush. It'll work. And first thing I'm going to do is add some water where there's none of the ink, because that is really good at giving it areas to spread into. Okay. Right, and then some here. All right, and now let's get it really sopping wet and start making it spread. Okay. Okay. There you go. I like how these colors are turning out already. I am going to literally leave it just like that. I know how I am. The second I start messing with it, the worse it's going to end up looking. So I'm not going to touch it. I like how this looks already. I'm just going to leave it be and let it dry. Yep, I like it. Downside, it's wet. Really wet. Really, really wet. Extraordinarily wet. The kind that, considering that this is mineral paper and not watercolor paper, it's going to take hours for this to dry. Literally nothing I can do can speed it up. So, what do I do? Because I did not plan this well. Because I just wanted to. What is the camera up there doing? It's just kind of doing what it wants. Stop that. Just kind of. It was tilting and going all over the place. In here, I have to figure out what to do. I figured this is going to be like, yeah, I can just take my time and do what I want. And it's over because I can't touch it. And I can't even move it. So the only thing I can do, aside from ending like a moment after I started, is switch to the digital one. Seriously, I think it's the only thing I can do. So let me switch gears and reorient. Give me a moment to do that. And we will just check back in on this as we go. Let me see if I can change my mic to the setting for omnidirectional so I can move it more. Right now it's in like a stereo mode, and that'll make it where I'm talking in the right ear like I am right now. But I want to be able to sit anywhere. So I think that's this one. Sorry, that might have clicked and sound weird. Okay, that should be better, and it'll let me sit slightly away from the mic. I'll move it as close as I can, but I can only move it so far because there's a tripod in the way. But that should be fine. Everything's long enough, yes, that I won't do anything stupid. Yep, okay. All right. So let me scooch over, and while that's sitting there in a puddle doing its thing and mixing, wow, yeah, it really just kind of started getting everywhere, didn't it? Let me see if I can take some of this out and it'll dry a tiny bit quicker. It started out really nice, and then it started muddying together too much. Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone. Okay, back to what I was doing. Let me share this guy. And I think this guy. All right. Just wanted to make that a little bit larger so it's easier to see. So we can play with this program for a few minutes. Let's take a look. I like how that orange blended with the blue. Actually, is kind of cool. Fascinating. Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Let's grab a new canvas. So, let's say I wanted to do a new dark background. This guy. Grab some lighter colors. There's some oranges. Some lighter oranges. Maybe hit a blue or make smaller so it can fit in there and there. And these places and down in here. And let's move it around. That way, then this way. Oh, we're going to move it upward. Yeah, see, this version of the program's got some glitches I found. It goes very square for a minute sometimes, and you really gotta fiddle with it to get the colors to mesh and move around like this hard line that it does when you move it and tilt it. Looks kind of funny. Let me hit that with something that'll hopefully cover up some of that hard edge a little bit. Go around the outer edge of this and hit it with some more indigo around the edge. Okay, that way, and then this way. And this way. Yeah, that's really nice. And then just letting it spread, it looks really cool. Yeah, it's definitely fun to play with. I like it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I like it. So let's save it. Save as. I'll just do. Uh, okay. Let's try a new one. So you can change the paper type over here. So there's like rough, there's hot pressed, which is what I was using. There's washi paper, which is interesting. Handmade rough. And you can choose the base canvas color if you want to paint on different things, which is interesting because you can do like faux gouache and things on this too. You can use there's a checkbox for deckled edges, which is like the torn edge. You can choose the scale of the texture if you want it to be more or less. Yeah, interesting. You can do a wash brush, so you can pick a color and just do a wash of a particular color. Those seem to be moving a lot. Did it need more water? I think I can undo all of it. Yeah. Maybe that shouldn't be. Interesting. Yeah, it's a super neat tool. I can decrease the water so I can hit it with some really like strong hits of color in places and change the brush to something else. Right? Yeah, that's a super cool tool. I uh I think I quite like this. Once I figure out how to use it right, I think that'll be pretty neat. It's like a combination of fire and ice. Kind of neat. Of course, it's still going, so it's just gonna kind of do it at once. I don't know if there's any tools for like drying it. I think it just kind of naturally dries over on a timer. Or like speed up time or something to see what it's gonna do. I don't think there is anything like that. Iron palette brush creator. Interesting. Oh, no, that's record a time lapse. Interesting. Yeah, looks kind of neat. I'll let that chill in the background and let it sit and virtually dry. And we'll come back to it. Pigment. Oh, that starts getting into all kinds of stuff I don't know. I'll leave that one alone. There's different palettes. I saw anime, body. Oh, I see like skin tone, color wheel, pastels. There's like pencils and things like that. So interesting. The brushes up here, these show the different types, oils and acrylics, express oils, among watercolors. There's inks, pencils, pastels, markers, and airbrushes. Super wild. Ooh. Gross. Okay. Banning people. Ugh. Yeah, that one's kind of neat. I'll save that one too. That would be experiment 2. Yeah, so let's see what else we got. And this one maybe. What music have we gone to? It's probably all gonna end up being on the stupid can't use it list. Washi paper, that's interesting. The edge of that one's neat. Okay, let's go simple. Let's pretend we're doing a little baby nebula. We're gonna do some light blue. And we're gonna do a greenish color over here. Maybe an orange. And then let's finish it off with some of the indigo height and color. Okay, let's move it. And move it a different direction. And move it a different direction. What? And move it another way. Make the size of the brush smaller, make the amount of water less, really darken it down in some spots. Okay. We can dun, 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 dun. We- 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 All right. It's kind of fun. I like most new toys. It's very easy to get lost in playing with it forever. All right, well, I've got the idea. I'm gonna continue playing with it, probably off stream. Let's see how our mineral paper painting's doing. Yeah, just as I assumed, very, very wet. I think that's how it's gonna stay. Let me switch my mic back to the way I had it so it sounds better. I think I'm gonna call it. I know it's super stupid early. I'm tired. I'm not feeling wonderful. I don't have a lot of stuff planned for today. It just was a mess all around. But I got some stuff done. A tiny bit. A baby amount. Itty bitty. I'm not gonna have perfect days every day. It's fine. I am gonna let this dry. I will show it off on Monday when I'm on. I'm trying to have a good plan and something more to do than just this, or at the very least, mineral paper always has to come last. I assumed that at the beginning and thought, it's okay, maybe it'll dry. It didn't, it won't, it never will. It's mineral paper, that's what it does. It stays wet for absolutely ever. So I'm gonna let this dry. Show it on Monday, like I said. I will have something else figured out. Maybe I'll have more of the LCARS thing built and able to be shown. I might be playing with it for a bit here when I get off. I'm going to go ahead and end. If there's anyone out there, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'm going to head out early. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you on Monday. Bye.